Question 8, use the following proof to answer the question. Given segment AB is congruent to segment KL, segment AC is congruent to segment KM, angle A is congruent to angle A is congruent to angle K, and angle C is congruent to angle M. Triangle KLM is the image of triangle ABC following a reflection. Prove that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle KLM. So they picked triangle ABC up and reflected it. I'm thinking it's over this line right here. I'm not 100% sure. It's just kind of what it looks like. So here's the proof. So notice we have statements and reasons. So I'm going to jump down to which one they want. So what is the correct reason for statement A? So statement A is blank. Reason A is blank. The statement is triangle ABC is congruent to triangle KLM. That doesn't really give me a lot to go off of to find out what the reason is. So I'm going to backtrack, and I'm going to notice that we have that the measure, they're listing that segment BC is equal to the distance of LM. A reflection is an isometry, and isometry is preserved distance. So right there they were just saying that segment BC has the same distance of segment LM. That's what this means, is congruent. So if two segments have equal measures, then they are congruent. So I'm noticing congruent comes up here. Then they're stating that these angles were given. So they're proving that the measure of angle B is equal to the measure of angle L, because a reflection is a rigid transformation and it preserves the angle measure. So then we have two angles, angle B and angle L, that are congruent right there. If they have equal measures, then they are congruent. So using the keywords, I'm looking at translation is an isometry, and isometry is preserved distance. Okay, this previous one wasn't talking about translation, it was talking about congruence, having equal. We had just shown that the two remaining side lengths that weren't given here, that they were congruent. So I would check first definition of congruent, since those are the key terms that were coming up. So having the same size and shape. Okay, well, it listed off two sides that were congruent to each other, and then they proved that the third side was congruent. So all of the sides had the same size, and then they listed that two angles were congruent, and then they proved that the third remaining angle was congruent, which means that they had the same size. So it is going to be definition of congruence, and I used that as I used what they were giving us in statements and what they were giving us in reasons to pick out key terms and follow to see if that flowed with the statement. So that's how I would answer this one. If I was having troubles with proofs, I would copy this proof and notice, and I would write down off to the side, two sides given, two sides given the same, were congruent. And then on this one, I would say proved the third one, proved third side congruent. And then on this, I would say given two angles were congruent. And then on this one, I would say proved the third angle was congruent. And so I would break it down and as to how come I could use the definition of congruence in my notes with that.